Well, hi there. Thanks for showing up for your learning. Let's take a look at how we can use the quadratic formula to create some really accurate, some really nice graphs of some quadratic functions. All right, now let's start with f of x. So I always recommend that you create for yourself a little table of a, b, and c, where a is equal to the first coefficient, in this case, -1, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to 2. That little chart is going to save you some headaches because it's going to help you avoid errors. And then let's zoom in because you can't get close enough to the what's coming next. Because what's coming next is, you guessed it, the quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then copying the equation down every time helps you remember it. And then it also gives you a chance to sing a song, not during a test, but you can sing a little song. And you can absolutely have that much fun while you do these types of problems. X is equal to -3. Then I substitute in carefully and I leave a lot of space for my work. Plus or minus the square root of 3 squared. I substitute in for b. -4 times a times c. Okay, all divided by 2 times a, which is -1. Next line, x is equal to -3, just stays -3, hangs out right there, plus or minus the square root of 3 squared is 9. -4 times -1 times +2 is +8. I counted the negatives. There were 2 of them. That makes the result of that multiplication positive. 4 times 2 is 8. All right, so 2 times -2, that's -2. Okay, let's keep going now. 9 plus 8 happens to be 17. So this is x is equal to -3 plus or minus the square root of 17, all divided by -2. And let's find out what that is as a decimal. Clear. Okay, so 17, but I want the square root of it. First guess. Well, 16 would be 4. 17 is going to be ever so slightly bigger than 4. Let's take a look. Boop, 4.1. 4.1 will be fine for our purposes. So this is -3 plus 4.1 over -2, or -3 minus 4.1. Oh, that got a little small over there, over -2, but you get the idea. All right, so that's equal to -3 plus 4.1 over -2. That's -1.1 over 2. Oh, sorry, I floated the negative sign up. It's actually positive 1.1 over -2, but I just have this habit of writing the negative on the top of the fraction, and it's the same. Or -3 minus 4.1, this is -7.1 over -2. And then let's get those as a pair of points. So the first one is -0.55. Your calculator will tell you the same thing. It just told me a little while ago. Or +3, because the negatives cancel out when you have a negative divided by a negative. And so it's going to be 3.550. All right. Now we plot those 2 points onto our graph. So take a look at the graph. Here's -2. Here is -1. Okay, and so -1/2 is directly in between -1 and 0. So this is a point, I'm just going to zoom in, ever so slightly bigger than -1. I'm plotting right now. This point over here is -0.55. -0.55, we'll place it right there, and we'll label it over here -0.55, comma, 0. There's our first root. Our other root was at 3. That's 3 there, 3.55. So ever so slightly bigger than 3.5. Put your point on, label it 3.55, comma, 0. Okay, cool. So we got the roots on for that parabola. It's got its roots on. Now we want to find the vertex. To find the vertex is a 2-stage problem. My first stage is to use -b over 2a, and you'll see I already have that number. I'll show you here with yellow. -b over 2a, so -3 over -2. So that's the result. And I can just do my substitutions again as well. This is -3 over 2 times -1, which is equal to 3 over 2, because the negatives cancel. And so that tells me the equation of the, let's use this yellow here. I'm kind of fond of this yellow all of a sudden. 3 over 2, that's another word for 1/2. 1 and 1/2, sorry. 1 and 1/2. If you cut pizzas into 2 slices and eat 3 slices, you've eaten 1 whole and 1/2 of a pizza. So here's 1 on my graph. 1 and 1/2 is this line here. And I know that the axis of symmetry is that line because the vertex is on that line because that's what negative b over 2a told me. Now, let's use that fact to find the x value of this vertex. So what we're going to do is find f at 3 over 2 is equal to, you kind of need a little more space for these, don't you, on the test. I'll give you a little bit more paper. So what you're going to do with these is you're going to zoom right in. Not that you can zoom on paper, but you know what I mean. And here, f of x is equal to -1. Here we go. I'm not going to do this I'm going to do this in black ink. You'll see it really clearly. Okay, so I copy out my function. F of x is equal to -x squared plus 3x plus 2. Now, this is the x value of the vertex. So let's input that in. F at 3 over 2 is equal to -3 over 2 squared plus 3 multiplied by 3 over 2 plus 2. Okay, we're going to get some fractions, and we have to know how to add them together. If you want to convert to decimals to add them together, that's going to be just fine. So what we're going to do is say that this is, well, -3 over 2. That works out to be -9 over 4. Square the top, square the bottom. Plus 3 times 3 over 2 plus 9 over 2 plus 2. Well, I'm going to write 2 in a different way. I'm going to write 2 as 8 over 4. And instead of writing 9 over 2, I'm going to multiply that top and bottom by 2 to get my common denominator. You'll notice that's the same thing I did to the number 2. I multiplied it top and bottom by 4, and that created 8 over 4. Now I can add this up. -9 plus 18 plus 8. -9 plus 18 plus 8 is a positive 17 over 4. So this equals 17 over 4. And maybe you don't believe me. So this is what you would do. Okay? You would say 3 over 2 is 1.5. All right? And you're going to just do this on a calculator. You're going to go 1.5 squared. All right? That's our first one. Where can I put the calculator so you can see this? So I'm going to write it out, and then I'm going to erase it because I don't do my work this way, but you'll see. 1.5 squared plus 3 times 1.5 plus 2. Okay? Now, this you just plug and chug on a calculator. That's the same thing that I have there, just instead of the fractions, I have decimals. Okay? So let's start again. All right, so let's do this here. Hey, 1.5, I square it. I make that number negative because the instructions told me to. Plus 3 times 1.5 equals 2.25 plus 2 equals 4.25. 17 over 4 equals 4.25. They're the same thing. If you do 17 divided by 4, you'll get 4.25. It's the same. So now let's go ahead and put 4.25 and it's positive onto that axis of symmetry. 4.25 is exactly right there. All right. So that's the vertex. Let's get back to the same color that we were having for this beautiful f of x parabola. This is the point 3 over 2, comma 17 over 4. And if you label it with decimals, you're still on my team. Actually, you know what? I've got decimal points down there. It's even better to label it with decimals. That's even better. Let's do it that way. 1.5, 4.25. And then, last thing to do is find the y-intercept. Oh, there it is. So put that on the y-axis. We could label it. It's 0, 2. Okay, let's go. So this parabola goes up, goes through the point 0, 2, hits its vertex kind of there, comes down, hits that point 3, 2, and then hits there. Oh, my hand did a funny thing. And then it keeps going, okay? It just keeps going down there. All right, so that's the first parabola graphed. Let's do the second one. Okay, I told you I was going to erase that, right? Decimals, youch. Okay, so let's get started on this one. We'll use a different color. We'll use purple, a different purple for this one. So here I have A is equal to 3, B is equal to 6, and C is equal to -3. All right, so let's just plug it into the quadratic formula and find our roots. So x is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, and that's equal to a -6 plus or minus. I'm going to skip steps now. 36 is 6 squared minus 4 times a times c. Well, minus 4 times 3 is minus 12. Minus 12 times minus 3 is plus 36. That's cool, eh? 36 plus 36. Wow, neat. Neat how that happened. And then we're going to divide that by, sorry, I got distracted there, by 2a, so by 6. Okay, well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right, so this is actually equal to this is actually equal to -1 plus or minus the square root of 2, but I can't show you that and why it is. All right, plus or minus the square root of 72 over 6. Work these out. All right. See, I'm working a little faster here because I'm not showing you as much. 6 plus or minus 72, but I want its square root. Oh, geez. Okay. 6, but it's negative, plus 72's square root equals that. Divided by 6 equals, so 0.4 is one of them. 0.40 is one. And let's find the other one. 6, but it's negative, minus 72's square root equals that. Divide by 6 equals -2.4. So let's go ahead and graph these 2 points. That was faster this time, eh? When I talk a little less. All right, so here's 0.4, very nearly a half. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. I'm second guessing myself all kinds of weird ways this afternoon. All right, and then -2.4, that's over here. It's a little bit more negative than -2, so that's there. And let's label our points. -2.40 and 0.4 comma 0. All right. Now let's find this thing's axis of symmetry. Well, don't you know, it really looks like -1, doesn't it? It really looks like -1 is going to be axis of symmetry here. Oh, look, -6 over 6. I'm going to skip this step because I know that it's -1. You don't have to use that trick if you can just look at it and just know. Okay, maybe I do. Okay, -b over 2a. -6 over 2 times 3. It's -1. It's -6 over 6, which is -1. So my axis of symmetry lies down here. Doot. Well down there. I think it's because it's very stretchy, so it's well down there. Okay, doot. And let's find this vertex. So to find the vertex, I just need to input -1 in there. So let's use black, like I was doing before. G of x is equal to 3x squared plus 6x minus 3. It's going to be -6, but I'll show you why. Okay. G at -1 is equal to 3 times -1 squared, which is 1, plus 6 times -1, which will be -6, minus 3 is equal to 3 times 1 is 3. 6 times minus 1 is minus 6. Minus 3 is just minus 3. This equals minus 6. Okay, let's go ahead and plot it. So that's the y value. That's the y value of the vertex we just found. We already had the x value. Now we have the y value. It's exactly minus 6. Well, that's cool. So label it. Minus 1, minus 6. X first and then y. And then where's its y-intercept? Oh, there it is. Its y-intercept was minus 3 all along. So put that on there. Boop. Okay, so this goes like this. That's not minus 3, man. Holy. It's a good thing to second guess yourself sometimes, I guess. That's minus 5. Minus 3 is up there. Oh, wow. Wow, wee wah. Okay, it goes up here. Oh, I hit the point. I'm so pleased with myself. Oh, I hit that point, and then it carries on. I might even draw it like through that there and it keeps going like that. And then this one comes out. We can do this parallel point over there, like that. It's parallel with the y-intercept. And then we hit that point, and then we go up there, and then we go through this, and off to infinity. Okay, and so let's label this point. It's 0 minus 3, and we're done. Let's take a look at our beautiful pictures that we've drawn. Oh, it's so beautiful. So that's how you do these questions. Use a quadratic formula to graph quadratics. All right, everyone. Hope that was as fun for you as it was for me. And thank you for showing up for your learning, everyone. Bye for now. Bye.